Okay, here's a quick tutorial showing my method of adding motion capture in Animation Master. I'm going to use this little bunny character I've got. So the first thing I do is make an action for bunny, and we're going to work within the action. I'm going to select new motion capture device on the action and get the BioVision BVH option. Right click on that and capture a sequence. I'm going to root through my folder and just grab a silly walk, and now I'm going to wait while that loads in. I have to make sure at this point that the animate mode red A up top is selected, or else I will get no keyframes. So that loaded, and we're going to try to preview it. So what you've got to do is select your play range settings, figure out where the action stops. This is just a short action, looks like about 8 seconds. So once the play range is set, I can hit play and we see the BVH, and this is how you preview BVHs in Animation Master. And I think I'm going to go with this. So if I didn't like it, I would just go through and select it, capture a different sequence, but we're going to go with straight ahead with this. So first thing I do is I select the action object, and I'm able to scale that character down because it was too huge. The BVH skeleton was too big for my character, and I'm going to turn on my constraints at this point for my bunny character. I have a animate ready pose that turns on all the TSM constraints and everything, and I also put it in a more casual pose than the T pose. So adjust the BVH skeleton a little bit more, give it another preview to make sure we're kind of in the same ballpark, and we're going to begin constraining. I start with the feet and I work my way up. So here I'm adding a translate to. I use the eyedropper tool to select the target, and I zero out the offsets numerically. There are different ways to adjust the offsets. And adjusting offsets means putting your character's bones into the place where the BVH bones are. So after the translate to, I added a orient like, and then I move over and do the same for the left leg. Translate to, select the left foot of the BVH, orient like, select that same bone on the BVH, and now I'll hit preview and see my character is walking, but the rig's not keeping up because it's not properly constrained yet. So we're going to add something to the main bone, translate to the hips of the BVH. Then I will select the hip bone and add a orient like there. So now the hips are done. Same thing with the upper body, that main control bone, translate to the chest of the BVH, and orient like the chest of the BVH. And because those don't need too much offsetting, I just move straight ahead, and with a preview, I can see that things are sort of working. The arms are dragging behind, so we're going to have to work on those next. The arms are always the fun part. I am going to switch my... the first thing I did was add one more orient-like to the head there. Now the head will mirror the actions of the BVH, so as the character plays, the head will be looking around. Now I'm going to switch my TSM constraints from IK over to FK. I find that works better for these BVHs. And now on the arms, I'm just adding orient likes because they're pretty much already based. The translate to doesn't always need to be added. And you can see I'm adjusting the offsets not numerically, but with the R rotate tool. I'm kind of putting it in the same place as I can see the BVH arm is. And now I'll move on to the lower arm, give it an orient like, select the lower arm, hit R for that bone, and rotate it. It gets a little wonky there. It wants to fight you sometimes, but you just muscle it through and kind of mirror it to the placement of the BVH action. And I move on to the Then I will move on to the left arm. For this tutorial, I did not do the hands, but the hands are in the BVH action, and they can be done optionally. So here's the left upper arm orient like, and for some reason I tried a numerical zero out. It doesn't really get it where it needs to go, so I select the bone in the R key and rotate with the manipulator to get the TSM bone to kind of mirror the same space as the BVH. So onto the lower arm, orient like, use the eyedropper, R on the keypad. And I would then do the hands after if I were interested in doing the hands. Nice thing about BVH is you can animate on top of the actions that exist. And I'll show that how you do that a little bit at the end. I'll brush on that. So now I see my character is walking like the BVH action. Now I decided to go ahead and add a translate to the upper arm. Oops, I hit orient like there, so I have to kind of delete that. Select any old bone, hit delete on that constraint, and let's do that again. Make sure I hit translate to, and I'll select the shoulder, the right shoulder of the BVH. Really quick, do the same thing over on the left side. Grab that bone. And now the shoulders move in 3D space like the shoulders of the BVH. Little detail. So here we have our walking character. I will add some other actions, and the knees can sometimes be done. You can take those knee controllers and give them AMATs or orient likes to the BVH upper legs. I guess at this point I was happy with this, so I will put it into a choreography and render a quick animation. So here's a new choreography. Bring in the bunny character. I forgot to turn off hair, so the hair is going to preload. Takes but a second, and for now I'll turn off hair and take that action, rename it, and drag and drop that on top of bunny. And now I will adjust the camera, do a little work to the lights, and let it render. I hope this helped illuminate my method of adding BVHs in Animation Master. It's fun to be able to get your character to constrain to a BVH captured action. Many actions are available through MrBones.com for download. Thank you for watching.